What's up? So, it's nighttime, obviously. So, anyways, man, I was just at the grocery store about an hour ago. I took my mom there, and there's this manager dude there that works there, and he's the first time I really, probably not the first time I seen him, but the first time I really paid attention to him, he was kicking this dude out of the store, at the grocery store. And originally the dude walked up to me, like, that was getting kicked out, all nonchalant, acting like nothing happened. But immediately following him was that manager and some lady telling him, "Get the F out of the store, get out of the store, don't you ever show your face in this store again." I was like, he was cool, he was just talking to me, and he was, I mean, but whatever transpired before that, I don't know, but anyways, that manager dude, he kind of looks like maybe Greek, possibly Italian, and he's got that dark stubble, that dark hard stubble. I wouldn't say he's a handsome guy, but he is also tall. He's tall and he's got that sturdy dark stubble, and that dude is always on it though. Like, every time I see him, he's like got a stern face and he's always like busy. And I'm thinking, that dude is the store manager. He is operating that entire facility. Like, he's making sure that the inventory comes in. He's making sure that all the systems run properly. He's managing people. He's managing, the employees, and managing the other managers. And he's operating all these systems, right? And keeping this store up and running. And I'm not gonna say that, like, that I'm envious, but I will say that I admire the quality, or I'm not saying that, well, I wish I could be like that, but just the fact he wakes up every day and comes in at a certain time every day, probably every day, and he has to go in and operate all these systems and deal with the customers. I mean, when I saw him today, it's the first time I ever seen him smile. I saw him go and help somebody out, and he smiled to the person, and I'm thinking, this dude's badass, actually. He's just a badass dude. He's like, because I always wondered, because I never seen him really friendly at all, right? But I never seen him like mean either, other than kicking the guy out, which I'm sure he had a reason to, right? But I don't know, man. It's like, that's a real man. That dude's a real man. I bet with the stuff that I usually talk about, you probably thought I was going to start talking about, like, he's at the job thinking that, that this is a corporation, this is a business, this is the job, this is the authorities gave it to him, and that's probably true to that extent. Like, to him, that's just a corporation that the authorities put together. At some level, he understands that the creators started the business, and all that good stuff. But because everybody kind of knows the backstory, the way it's presented in such a way that, like, the backstory to businesses, it's presented in sort of a way, it gives people the cognitive impression that it's kind of like a fantasy, like it's the backstory to businesses, like it's the backstory to a fantasy. So there's a compartmentalized part of our brain that when we hear the backstory of the company, think of the words I'm using. When we hear the backstory of the company, it's like Roger Ball started this company back in 1987, and since then they have been offering the world's greatest widgets that have ever existed on the market. One man, one dream. And they give that story, and it's kind of like this. It's almost has this unreal quality, and so that thing that I'm describing, that unreal quality to the backstory, reinforces this idea that the company is this authority that just exists in the reality, right? And it doesn't frame it in a way that assumes that this is just some man's business, right? Some man just started this business and he started selling the things, just like this grocery store. Once upon a time, I did research. Actually, this year or last year, I researched like who started that business and when, and what happened. It was a couple of guys or something like that. So it's been such a while ago, I forget. But a couple of guys, they just started selling groceries in a store, and then they just grew it to several locations. They opened up another location, another location. That's all. And then eventually, this bigger company bought them from like Denmark or something, from Europe, somewhere in Europe. They bought it, which is common. Once someone grows a business big, they sell it to a bigger company that knows how to. They see the potential in generating more revenue with it, and implementing systems into making it into a grander revenue generating machine. And then so they buy it out. And so, got to include that in there. Even though this video is mostly about the dude, it's like I don't want to say. I was trying to figure out what I was trying to say. Like, I'm not envious. Like, I don't want to show up and do that because I've already done retail. Done restaurants. Did a grand total of 5 years in restaurants, right? And I've already done that. I've been there, done that. And so I'm not envious of him or want to be like him, but and be operating a grocery store and operating the systems. And it just made me think some people are just wired that way, and that's the good side of being an employee working for another man. It's like some people are presented with these systems. Hey, we got these systems in place. We bring in this inventory, we stock it on shelves, and then we sell it to people. Fundamentally, we bring in this stuff, we put it on shelves, and we sell it for the different businesses. We are a business that lets other businesses come into our business, put their products on shelves, and we sell it for them, or we buy it and sell it to make a profit. But it just depends on the business and the type of industry, right? And the specific company and how they do business. But generally, that's what it is. They bring in stuff, put it on a shelf, and sell it to people, right? That's the business. And then so they get people, so they create these systems. And so they say, hey, we need somebody to come in and manage these systems and operate them and run them and manage the people that run them and operate them. And some people look at that and go, okay, yeah, I can do that. Sure. And they're wired that way. And it's not like I'm envious because I don't want to do that, but I can respect that a lot. So that dude obviously And he's tall. He's probably 6 foot. It looks like he's about 6 foot, I guess. So he's a tall dude, and so he kind of has this dominant presence, and so he's like a natural leader, and he's wired that way. Again, like someone presents him with I would argue he's still brainwashed. He's still indoctrinated because he thinks he's working for the corporation, right? But it's an admirable set of traits and qualities. But I would also argue that that's also an outlier to some extent. Not everybody is cut out for that, and some people try to tell me not everybody's cut out for business. And guess what? I agree, but more people than not are cut out for business. So more people than not can run a business, and that's the thing. But in society, we make it sound like only these rare few people that are wired a certain way can, and some of them are going to be better than others. But the general, like, just to get freedom, to become a free person, you have to offer some kind of value to the world, to some marketplace. You have to offer value to the world to survive in some way, right? And so you offer that value. This is what gives you a place to live, gives you something to eat, and helps you to live the life you want. You have to. So what I'm saying is, it's just mistaught. And you look at all the morons and idiots that are too stupid to comprehend that all this stuff. And so what they do is they just go out and they just start a business blindly. Oh yeah, I decided I don't want to work at a company anymore, so I'm just going to work for myself and start my own company. Yep. And then they go like they and then you see them out on the street 10 years later. Yeah, I used to work there at that company, but I just decided to do my own thing. I just ain't cut out for that. And so they just blindly do it. You know what I mean? Like, and he goes, yeah. Hey, you're welcome to. We're going out on the lake this weekend on my new boat. Yeah, I bought it with cash. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, okay. See you then. It's like. Anyways, that's all I got to say about it. It's raining.